don't have the TV down there though.
Okay. I got an idea for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I got an idea for
Can
that.
you record? Can you just record your screen?
Yeah. I can definitely do that.
Since you're not gonna be going live this time. But for the live, well, yeah, we probably should still record the screen for.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a baby Coinbase account and then the KuCoin account.
Y'all record over here, so that's just cool.
I'm gonna show them how to move some money. They can't trade KuCoin if they ain't already in, though, unfortunately.
So the KYC thing they updated?
Yeah, but I can still do it.
I think people can still use MaxC without KYC and okay. You talking about like as far as futures?
Mhm.
Right. How you feel about that grayscale shit?
Man, I mean, I'm with it.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's gonna improve the space.
It's gonna drive liquidity, but it's a lot of people not gonna have real self custody. So it's up to user error. It's up to users to understand it.
Right, but the thing with it is that it's kind of what's needed though for mass adoption. I feel like because
especially if they see
not even though we got mass adoption happening, people gotta be able to tap in without remembering all those codes, unfortunately, because they're
not gonna do that. Right. They're not gonna. People are not accountable enough to store their seed phrases somewhere that they're not gonna lose it
right.
or get hacked because they posted it in their notes and shit like that. It's like a double-edged sword. But yeah, that's gonna drive hella liquidity because everybody like Grayscale and BlackRock, they see everybody trying to make ETFs and everything. They're like, oh shit, big money gonna start moving. Yeah, all our bags gonna go up. And then we got the halving in April. Like people saying this might be the last bull though. Like this might be the last real bull.
Right.
I believe it though, cause like I believe it.
Yeah, I don't think we got too many more left, and I'm really thinking, cause I mean after this Bitcoin halving, like how high
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't much after that. So
it'll probably be like small little like quick bull runs, but not like a peak bull. Like you won't see like a peak.
Y'all saying y'all don't think it's gonna go higher?
No, I think
it will, but after this next bull, no bull will be higher than this one. It'll be like a legendary bull. And it's 2024. 2024 is gonna be the 8th year, so that's like the real money year, wealth year. So like astrologically, they saying like it's either all or nothing. Like people missing next cycle, it might not be like another opportunity.
Did you already start recording?
Oh, you did? Oh, we can start whenever. My bad. I was just checking this out. This shit looks so cool. Like.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up our Instagrams now so that we can. Jay, you want me to pull up patient page or your personal page?
I be trying to figure that out too. If you ask my page, I be like, personal or business? Because I'm personal guy.
Maybe we do personal right now. Maybe we do personal and then we talk about our business side.
I be trying to build my personal thing too while I'm building the brand.
That's the real challenge, but it's tough though, because it's like you can build both.
You can. Because people want to see personalities like you are.
Right, that's a good call. Definitely see that.
Sometimes you gotta put it on D&D just to get that work done.
Yeah.
I don't be D&D a lot.
Right.
I don't care who hit me. I got to get this done. Hopefully it ain't been an emergency situation.
They know to call twice.
Right. They know what it is. Eventually.
Right. So first off, we're just gonna go through the Instagrams real quick. We're gonna run through the Instagrams. Let me put them in order. So we'll you, bro. Nah, this the ATBN page. Nah, this the ATBN
Oh, okay.
page. That, he don't fuck with himself because he run that one, so he's gonna follow this up on that. Alright.
Pay attention to that.
Right. Alright, Wait, so do you want me to pull this one up or you want me to pull the other one up?
That's just like a personal page, like a Facebook, Instagram, that's
Yeah, I think we doing personals. We didn't do the business page. We just gonna talk about it.
yeah, I mean you can pull it up.
Which one? Your personal?
Yeah,
Alright.
like personal.
Bet. Alright, so
I think that page was the page
that for not following nobody. Yeah, I remember.
No, I think it was no page for the festival that we did there.
Alright, so
That person page?
Yeah, that person page.
yeah, 'cause this. Oh, I'm pulling this up from the All Things Blockchain Network page. Okay, cool. So, what we gonna talk about, Don, once we get into it, I'm gonna show people. I actually want to just show a quick joint because these are like small accounts. I'm gonna just show moving over like $100 to KuCoin and then placing a trade. I want to show it on the joint, so I'm gonna pull this up. We can just do that like closer to the end, just on some educational shit. And then Jay, I want you to talk about credit, or whatever you want to talk about, however the conversation goes, but really focusing on how we can use technology to improve our situation. I know you already did one on ChatGPT, so you can definitely highlight some of the videos you already been doing, stuff like that. And then Deej, well, to the marketing piece, all that good stuff. Oh, my boy got all full phones right there, trapaholic. And you said I could just record my screen. Yeah, so we'll do that.
I did the thing twice, bro. Yeah, this is definitely a nice setup for sure. Shout out to Raw 704. This is nice.
Right. You don't hear it though. And you got this mic right here too, so it should be good. Alright, we about to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's up, everybody? It is Darren with the All Things Blockchain Network. And I want to say, first off, I'm appreciative for these great gentlemen that are sitting beside me. We got Don 600, we got Jay Lucian, and we got and we got my boy Deej, DJ. So we can run that back because I messed that up when I saw her. It's cool. So let me time track this. So we are at 8:25 p.m. 8:25 p.m. Going live again in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's up, everybody? It's your host today with the All Things Blockchain Network, Darren. I'm here with Don 600, Jay Lucian, and DJ for artists. So we are some gentlemen that live in the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are here today to bring you nothing but education and gems. First off, this is my Instagram page, as you can see, Darren Godzilla23. Gotta tap in on the Instagram. Go ahead and tap in with Jay Lucian as well. He's on the credit side of things, does a lot of things. We got Don. Go ahead and get his pulled up, Don 600. And then we got Deej for Artemis. So that was a quick introduction from me. I'm gonna let everybody give an introduction of themselves and their brand, what they do. So we're gonna start off with my boy Don, since he's right here on the left. So go ahead, Don, take it away.
Alright, first of all, I appreciate you having us over here. You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure. For those that don't know, I'm Don. My brand is Street Economics, and we're a community and network that's shifting the perspective of money and wealth in our economy, and just really just honing in on the psychology and the underlying factors of what's taking place in the world and how we can take advantage of those opportunities that present themselves.
Oh, bro, dope. Yeah, street economics. Y'all gotta tap in. Y'all go ahead and see it.
Definitely
right
tap
here.
in.
So,
And then we're gonna slide over to my boy Jay. Go ahead, Jay, take it away.
Yes, sir. What's going on, people? It's your boy Jay Lucian. I have a business called Patience Pays. We help people get access to funding by leveraging their credit to invest into themselves, invest into their business, or invest into real estate, really. So, you know, that I'm on the credit side of things. Beyond that, I'm big on health, you know, personal development, and just getting to your next level. So definitely into things like that.
Let's get it. Amen, brother. Amen. So then we got my boy Deej, another member of All Things Blockchain Network, but he also has his own marketing company. He's gonna go into that as well.
Yes, sir. I am Daryl Johnson, also known as Deej Artist. I got a marketing agency startup where I have a few partners, and we're doing some really big things. We're trying to get out into the world of video editing, make our own application that has some type of content creation features. So you'll be seeing that very soon.
For sure. So now we got the introductions. Now we can really get into it. So for those of you who don't know, we all know each other. Moving around the city. I've been in the city for like 3 years now. I met Jay Lucian almost a year and a half now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about that time.
almost 2
Yeah,
years.
it's almost 2
Coming
years.
up.
Yeah, 2 years coming up. So Don about a year. DJ about 2 years. No, not really. Whoa. Like I met DJ a while back before, but
we met a long time.
yeah, we met a while back. You know, going through the tea and stuff like that. But we really locked in over these last 3.5 years since I've been in Charlotte, and it's been an amazing journey. Being able to grow brands, seeing other people grow their brands, just seeing everybody at this table who started something really from the time that I kind of seen them, and their brands have really expanded and grown, and it's just beautiful. And I want to give that to the people of Charlotte and allow them to give that to the people of Charlotte, which is why we're here today. Not just Charlotte, but around the world. And obviously that focus is starting out with Charlotte. But before I go in, I want to get some, I really want to ask a question about InvestFest, because 2 of the people here went there, had a phenomenal time. And you know, Jay, what was your take on InvestFest? Like, what did you get from that?
Man, InvestFest was legendary, man. You know, just being in the room with like-minded people, you know, on this entrepreneurial journey. You know, sometimes the journey can be lonely, you know, on a day-to-day basis, on a normal day-to-day basis. Sometimes people aren't really on that same path as you. So being around people that's on that same path, you know, has the same drive and pushing towards that type of lifestyle is beautiful. You know, even the speakers, we was in a room with billionaires, man. We was in a room with Robert Smith.
Right.
That is the richest black man or black person in the country. You know, I think of all time too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So legendary conversations, but even beyond that, it's really about the connection that you make, the connections that you make at these types of events, right? It's about the relationships that you build, because it's cool to, you know, hear people speak and get motivation, but come on now, you know, we do that on the regular. We don't really need to be, you know, motivated when it comes to that aspect, but like I said, it's really about the connections that you make, the people that you bond with, and, you know, building with people on that intimate level. We even do a mastermind of our own. The last day or the last night of InvestFest, you know, just to connect with all the people that we met out there on a more deeper level. So it was dope, man. Like, if you didn't go this year, you gotta make it out next year.
Yeah, sure. Me and Dee, we was slacking, man. We was slacking this year. We out there, bro. We out there.
And we really gonna plan for next year too. Like, we really got some things coming for next year. Really moving with intent.
Nice. Okay, Don, what was your takeaways, bro?
And my boy Jay hit it on the head. Like, it was a life-changing event. You know, you in a room with so many people. Like, everybody is somebody.
Right.
You know, like, you never know. Like, you might think you're just coming across a random person, but like, they're doing something great. Like, they built something great, or they already financially free, and they might be younger than you.
Right.
It was people there that was like, I thought I was like one of the youngest, because I had turned 24. I was there, but it was people there 19, like established businesses, running 2 or 3, got side hustles and everything. It's like, whoa, like I was just learning so much. There's so many learning opportunities, and great people that we was meeting, and the networking was just so crazy. And I know for a fact that the connections we made will be like long term, because it was like Jay said, it was like that deeper level. Like everybody's there to build and work and just grind together and see each other at the top.
Yeah, that's
It's all about time, because I knew Don from before we met. I met Don through you.
Word.
Or yeah, I think so, right? Like a year ago.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just timing. You know what I'm saying? We really locked in now. You know, after that build. So.
Yo, shout out to somebody that's not even in the room right now, but Nigel,
that's what I was
Yo, he actually introduced me to you. He introduced me to you, many other people. So, gotta check out his brand too, American Fugitive.
Facts.
So, shout out to that dude, Nigel.
Shout out to Nigel.
Right. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's great that y'all had that experience. So, I want to also start talking about some things that's kind of happening into the world, like with AI and you know what's going on. So DJ, if you don't mind, like, where do you see AI, or you know, what I could say is, where do you see the? Let me move this mic, probably get that one. But where do you see businesses in the next 5 years? Right, like your average small business. Do you think that they'll have AI in it? Do you think that blockchain will be a part of it? Like, what do you think the average small business will look like in 5 years?
I think the first thought that comes to my head is 90% of businesses fail. We already know that. Small businesses, startups, investments that you make, you know, you can live by the rule of 20%. That 20% of your odds are probably gonna overcome 80% of the opportunities that you actually, you know, follow through with. So I say the ones that don't incorporate AI, they're gonna be in that 80%. And the ones that do are gonna be in the 20% of companies that we still recognize, that are still flowing, that still can keep up with the landscape of even the creators who are incorporating AI. There's so many creators that have huge brands. I'm pretty sure the biggest YouTubers and TikTokers get more views than these big brands do now. So it's about them being able to consistently put out commercials that are good versus, you know, cookie cutter stuff that they would be able to do before. I feel like, you know, advertising and marketing is definitely going to be where you see a lot of AI. You see Hollywood, they tried to replace all their background actors with AI. So if it's at that level, I think that's going to trickle down all the way into, you know, restaurants using AI to advertise, and that's gonna have an effect on the entertainment industry, the content creation industry. And for content creation, it's all good. I think that that's great signs. Everybody can kind of step into it, pick up video editing, pick up some of that content creation, and use that to really be your own brand and market for huge partners. People be getting reached out to. Like I've seen it. I work with people with millions of followers. I've seen it. They get reached out to by the biggest of brands, but you gotta know how to capitalize on it. And that's where, you know, being able to understand business, servicing people, all that stuff matters more. Mm-hmm. So that's still gonna matter in the future. But like 5 years, AI is gonna be in everything. I don't think that there's not gonna be like machines talking to us. I'm one of those. It's like I've already seen it, so I don't know if it's gonna be out yet, but I know they have it in store, just waiting to put it out. Whenever people are like not scared of it anymore, I think 5 years probably be around that time.
Okay, that's dope, bro. So you brought up a good point, and I want to, you know, piggyback off this point. You talked about the actors right now who are on strike by a company called SAG, I believe it is. I have to do that, make sure that's what it is. But SAG is the individuals that write those contracts for these actors and artists, right? So they're on strike to say, hey, you can't do any movies right now. That's what SAG is telling them. They can't do stuff. They can't do parties, promotions. That's why we're not seeing actors really out there right now.
SAG-AFTRA.
That's what it is, right?
Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Yeah, you were on it. SAG.
Okay, there we go. So hey, I know a little something. So SAG, right? They got them on strike, but what people don't know is we have the technology right now to almost clone, you know what I mean, like myself on the digital screen and talk right now. Like me and DJ can pull up a few tools that you would probably not even know that we were using AI through the conversation. Some of them are a little penny, right? They cost a lot, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I believe that these individuals are on strike, or they're making these actors go on strike, is because they're building that technology to replace them, right? So now we see individuals coming on platforms like Tubi. Why is Tubi big now? Because the industry is blocking individuals from actually getting out there. It's like almost the cycle of decentralization, right? It's like, how do these actors break out of these contracts? How do they get out of it? But SAG is like, hey, if y'all do movies, y'all do stuff now. When we do open back up, y'all won't get anything. We're not gonna rock with y'all. We're not gonna give y'all no money. We're not gonna put y'all on these contracts. So actors and AI is really tough right now. But I believe platforms like Tubi, platforms even like X, Twitter, or X, social medias, right? Like, this is where that leverage is gonna have to come back to those actors, because right now it's not really working, because SAG is saying, hey, we got AI and we're gonna replace you. So for those actors out there, find a way, and hopefully we can help you get that way. But
that's gonna be a big thing. I'll chime in one more time, because
Yeah,
it's like
go ahead.
so
That's
big
open.
in marketing. Like Ryan Reynolds, he's been doing a lot. The Deadpool actor, crazy rhetoric. I think that he's really probably best known for like the way that he's playing with words as an actor, like looking into the camera, doing those sorts of things, talking to the audience during the movie. He's changed that into a creative agency, really a startup accelerator. You can't really tell the difference between, because he has such scale to it. So he comes in, he can bring on other actors and other creative agents, marketers, people with real professional experience, and now you have, just fire commercials every single time, like YouTube or TikTok content. Stuff is going viral, commercial style. So it's like, if you're not using your platform, this could be a rapper, this could go all the way down to the local level too. I mean, if you have any type of following, you can start using that to scale out what partnerships you're getting, what type of sponsors you get, what ads you're putting out for businesses. You gotta just kind of niche yourself in and drive that content home. So that's not always gonna be easy for somebody to find. Like an actor can easily just use the following they built up already and attach themselves to this or that business and probably help them scale, versus, or start a podcast and people will just want to talk to them because they were an NFL player or they were an actor. That's gonna be easy for them. Where they really gonna have trouble though is the same space where all of us, can attest to, not having trouble, but just having to deal with being consistent, putting out the content, finding the time to make the videos, finding the time to like just want to be creative. That stuff is more gonna be like, I think, what holds a lot of people back. Somebody made that point about, I don't know which one. It was somebody, one of these ESPN guys that just got fired. They fired all the ESPN people, and you're not seeing all of them able to start up their own podcast, because it's not just even the creative side. Like, this is a beautiful studio. If you had to do all this on your own, this is a part of the podcast game. Like, so I don't think that everybody will make that transition and use AI and just keep everything going like they should, but it's definitely there for the taking for like basically anybody that's willing to either drop that content, or you got a following already, you need to tap into that.
Nah, that's facts. Yeah. And so you brought up some points on like marketing. A lot of people don't really have funding for marketing. So Jay Lucian, I'm gonna ask you a question, right? So like, I'm planning my business for 5 years, right? I have my budgets, but if I need funding, what is something that I probably need to be looking at on my personal or my business side, and like, what does that look like? How do I get funding for things like marketing and operations?
Yeah, that's a great question. When it comes to funding, when it comes to credit, the first thing in the foundation is your personal credit. You want to make sure that is structured out and in the best position for you to leverage it on the business side. When it comes to your personal credit, the biggest things are the limits that you have on your personal profile. The primary accounts, the accounts that's in your actual name. So So you want to make sure you have decent limits starting out 1,000, 2,000. Really anything over 2,000 is good. So you can then leverage your personal credit report into your business to get business funding with your LLC. Nowadays, we in financial times. Banks are really being careful with who they want to, give funding to,
Right.
based on risk purposes. So businesses that are over 2 years are usually, equipped to get more funding compared to a business that is younger than 2 years.
Right.
So it's like I said, essentially you want to get your personal credit in order, leverage that on the business side, make sure your business has age. If not, there is strategies that you can use to purchase age corps. That's something that we, a service that we offer at Patience Pays, to leverage that, and then you can get access to 0% capital, 0% interest capital, and that's the biggest key. That's the key to it all. You know what I'm saying? We want to get funding at 0% interest so we can leverage that into our business to hire staff, to take care of expenses, and then not only that, instead of using our own money, we can leverage the bank's money to earn reward points, travel for free, earn cash back, things of that nature.
Dope, yeah. And for those of you who don't know, I've actually tapped in with Jay Lucian. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on if I talk about it, I got to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? So he got our business funding for all things blockchain. And matter of fact, I called you like a week after I got the funding. I was like, yo, I got to play. And it was XRP. So I was able to take some of the funding that Jay got us for our business side, put that into, we had a credit for cash play, put that into XRP. XRP was at around 48 cents around that time. We put in about $2,000. That $2,000 turned into $4,000 in about 3 months because we were waiting on the lawsuit to go through, right? We knew that the lawsuit was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to go up or down, but we knew that it was going to be a move. So looks like we made the right move on that play. And once that happened, we took a little bit out, right? Once it gets to the top, take a little bit out. Now, don't get me wrong, XRP is back down to 52 cents, but guess what? We still got $1,200, $300 in there, and we took out, a good portion of that at the top. So we able to now use that, and in the future, right? If we saw that big play happen, right? Something that we could have capitalized on. I'm gonna pass this to Don. Something we could have capitalized on, right? Is taking those funds, once it made that money, right, we knew we were up 100%. What we should have done was took that, about 40% of that, took 20 out to ourselves and put 20 on a put, right, because of how much it increased in such a little time. So a put means we think the market is going to go down, right? So if we would have put, and it's platforms like Coupon and other platforms that will allow you to leverage trade. So you take that, right, and you leverage trade it, and you say, hey, I'm going to take 20% of my earnings just in case it goes down, right? So if it goes up, I mean, hey, you lost that little 20%, you still got your 20%, you still got 50%, which was that 100% gain that you made. So you take that small amount and put it on the downside, and if we would have put that in at, let's say even at around 60 cents all the way down to 51 cents, we would see that $200-300 turn into thousands of dollars easily, right? And it just depends on how much you use the leverage on. I typically keep my leverage at 25x, no higher. You can do higher, it just increases your risk, but always got to do your own risk and do your own research. But now that we're talking about crypto, I want to pass it to Don. So Don is Crypto Don 600, the man, right? The decentralized man, I like to say. What is it that you're seeing in the space when it comes to mass adoption? And how do you think that people won't be scared to do things like I'm just talking about, right? Or figuring out how to get their own wallet and moving forward in the space?
Alright, so that's a good question. So what we mentioned earlier was the businesses and companies are shifting towards AI. And when we think about tech and just the sectors of the economy, everything follows the tech. Like without tech, companies can't innovate and continue to expand and scale. So it's like, okay, who can be the first company to utilize the blockchain, to utilize AI, to utilize these different technological aspects to help scale their business and become number one. So in history, we've seen with Blockbuster, Netflix took them over because Blockbuster had the chance to go digital, but they wanted to keep everything in store.
Right.
So companies like Netflix or say like Amazon Prime, they took over the sector for renting out movies and games because everything was digital.
Right.
And it's key to capitalize on points in time like that. And I feel like we're going to see another time like that with the crypto and the blockchain. So with the crypto, let's say the crypto is built on a blockchain, but the blockchain can be used for entirely different purposes. Companies such as like the banks can use blockchains to transfer their ledgers. So run their accounts on the blockchain, monitor transactions, look for let's say money that's being moved around and things like that. And they can also utilize the cryptocurrency because they can invest in it. Just like with the fractional reserve banking, they invest in bonds and different type of futures on the side. They would do the same thing with the blockchain,
Right.
but it would just be more decentralized.
Correct.
So I feel like that's going to be very key of who can capitalize on the blockchain tech. And just to take it a deeper level, as far as digital identities, companies can use digital identities for their employees, so they can have like NFTs. Like let's say our badge, like an employee badge, that might be tokenized.
Right.
So with this tokenized asset, now you can do different things. You may be able to take a loan against your badge, or take a loan against your company because you have direct ownership of the company because they're giving out shares. You know what I'm saying? Not like as stocks, because stocks is more centralized, but a decentralized stock. So instead of having a partial ownership, you have a direct stake with the company that you're working for. So it's many like rabbit holes and like, you know what I'm saying, that's in the blockchain, but whoever utilizes it and capitalizes on it, it's really no time.
Right, you're right, man. And I think that we just gotta figure out who's gonna crack that code, man. Because there's a lot of companies right now that's on that race. I can't even talk about some of the stuff I've seen, but there are companies that are doing exactly what you're talking about. Like basically giving outside employees or people that they do contracts with that tokenization fraction to say, hey, you have access to this building, or hey, you have. It's not just to the ownership part, but just access, right? And that's just the first step, right? So ownership when it comes to blockchain, which is one of my biggest and favorite pieces of it, which is like let's say let's just say the studio, for example, right? We in the studio, so let's say that there was this is a very exclusive studio. Shout out to Raw 704. We are the culture, right? Like shout out to them, but they got stage, they got photo shoots, all different types of stuff, right? So let's say that we had an NFT project that dropped and it was only exclusive for 100 people. Those 100 people may pay anywhere between $100 to $200 for that NFT. Now, with that, right, they're gonna have perks. So that $100, $200 may come with a photo shoot, recording session, an actual music recording session, a choreography session, right? Something along those lines. And it also gives me access to all the after parties. So just because I buy it, right, it might give me access to one actual physical thing that I can do, but it also gives me, hey, I might get a text alert to say, hey, after party at here at this time, right? And it makes it exclusive. So it gives the business and the customer a different type of relationship. And it's everlasting because as long as they hold that, they're a part of your community. Whether they're getting a fraction of something or shares of something, regardless, they have ownership of something that business has produced. And you as a business owner should, right, and I say should, be looking to expand and help your community. So always give it back to that community. Now, understand that things cost money for people that are in the NFT space. And I'm getting a little off tangent if you're not in the NFT space, but if you are and you're building, make sure you're just giving back to that community, right? They're investing in your business, and you're making a promise. And I know that promises aren't always easy to keep, but if you make that promise, stick to it. So this is all I gotta say on that NFT space.
Incentivizing your customers or your base is so important because even with what we see like with Starbucks and let's say Foot Locker, they have loyalty reward programs to keep their community coming back. Like you might get 20% off your next purchase, you might get something for free. That's going to keep that customer retention. And Starbucks also just launched an NFT for the loyalty rewards.
Yep.
So they're already ahead of the game because they're utilizing blockchain to go ahead and take these steps that's needed. As far as like other NFTs, like the CryptoPunks and Bored Apes, they found ways to incentivize the people that were purchasing their NFTs, whether you could stake them and earn a percent of them, or you could have exclusive access to like a restaurant event or a private party event in New York and things like that.
Yeah, man, and I'm glad you said that because the Starbucks, some of the holiday ones were going like 5x to 10x, bro.
Crazy.
So like that is a small investment. Like I think there were a couple dollars, if I'm not mistaken, when they first came out. Like nothing crazy, but you're able to make money on it. You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
thing people need to realize. Like
after
that's
time.
fire. Like you can invest into something and make, make money off your investment just by being a part of the NFT space, and that's why I feel like that's my understanding of the blockchain. Y'all understand it way more deeply, but once you tap in, your investment can grow and you can sell. It's like having shares.
Right. And it's like selling within a community, right? So let's say that you join a community and after a year, like how many times have you bought a course or bought something and you was like, dang, I don't even think this is worth it. It wasn't one-time purchase, right? You know what I'm saying? So imagine you buy that one-time purchase and then the business owner says, hey, like you get 50% and I get 50% when you sell it. So now you got half your money back right there, right? That's just off of that, right? That's just off of that. Now the person who's making the course, he's selling it for 50% less, even though he's selling it for less, but it's almost like an affiliate, right? Like you became an affiliate of that person.
Exactly.
So now that person's still eating at the end of the day, and you still may have your investment. So it just depends on the community too. But
even on the other side of that too, because I bought courses which have been very beneficial.
Right.
So even on the other side where the value becomes higher, you can make money.
Exactly.
Because I had a lot of times where people I bought a course and people would ask me like, yo, where'd you learn that from? Like I tapped into this mentorship, I tapped into this. Like I could have had plenty of opportunities to make money if it was in that type of space where I bought it on the blockchain, I can sell it. If I bought multiple shares, I can still sell it multiple times. So
that's fire. And I think we just came up with the idea because who's fractionalizing these courses where somebody can take a course, you refer this person, you get a percentage,
right,
they get a percentage of the shares and getting everybody involved. That's actually fine.
Nah, exactly.
Right. Probably not done. So hey,
that's something that we can do. We got
we might have to tap into that.
Right.
We got a lot of intellectual property, you know what I'm saying, we can put together and create it. So.
For sure. Especially for the courses. DJ know all about the courses, bro. He be on me all the time about that.
I'll try to get him to do one too.
Literally, like digital real estate is such an important thing. You know what I'm saying? As we monetize it online, we can sell our intellectual property online, and people can purchase it. Whether it's something, and you can have different types, right? You can have products that's $1 to $25, products that's $25 to $100, and then products that's $100 to $500, and then you might have like a personal mentorship if you want to take it that far. That's $1,000 plus. You know what I'm saying? And just packaging up everything that you know, which is your intellectual property, and selling it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it's at, bro. It is, bro. It's like it's the next step of like instead of us going to the courthouse, figuring out all that paper, filing it to say, hey, we created this idea this time, bro. The blockchain allows us to do that without even going through the court system, right? Because if I'm the first one to put it on the Ethereum blockchain, there is a record on there that I was the first to do it on the Ethereum blockchain. I can take that to the courthouse and be like, hey, I'm the one that produced. If I wanted to create a document of a patent that hasn't been invented, or I put it on the Ethereum blockchain. If I do that first, I'm easily it's a stamp, it's a record, right? That's all it is. So, well, I'm not gonna say that's all it is. That's a part of it. But the Ethereum network is an ecosystem that it's both with currency and being able to build on it. It's like you're using the currency or burning the currency in order to put what you want onto the platform, so to say. So if I'm building an application which would be called a DApp on the Ethereum blockchain, a decentralized application, I would then have to take some Ethereum to burn it and put that on that platform to say, hey, taking this out of this space, putting this in here, and this is my stamp in the space.
Right.
That's just a,
Ownership.
yeah, right.
It's a smart contract.
Exactly, and it's all done with a smart contract, exactly, bro. So we're not writing these out anymore, right? Like the NDA, like we can do this all through Ethereum. So when you get paid, it don't touch your bank account. It goes straight to me on that back end. If I'm a 2% owner, I'm getting my 2%. If I'm a 10% owner, I'm getting my 10% every time. I'm not looking for you, not looking for me. It's just happening.
And that can also like cut off certain loopholes with like paper contracts, because sometimes people might not know what like the terminology is, or if this happens, then this happens. It's like with that smart contract, whatever the function is set, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be like a delayed payment or delayed whatever or anything outside of that
Right.
contract. Whatever's bound in the contract, that's exactly what's going to take place.
100%. 100%. Yeah, we'll run forever. Right. But yeah. So, what's happening? I want to open it up for everybody. I know I did a lot of talking. I wanted to get perspectives from y'all on a lot of different topics. Is there anything anybody want to go in on, like, since we've just been talking?
About the journey of business, like what have we learned so far on our journeys?
Okay, yeah. We can definitely do that. Who wants to go first?
Shit, I guess I'll go first. Since I brought it up. Entrepreneurship is a journey in itself, and it's like, I feel like the biggest thing for me is just enjoying it first and foremost, and then just building those relationships out as well. But even outside of that, learning the different pillars of business, especially when you first starting out, because when you first started out, you got to do the marketing, you got to be inside doing the operations, you got to be understanding what your finances looking like, the legal side of things. So understanding all pillars, and then my biggest thing, what I've recently had to realize was like, yeah, you got to build your team out. You got to have a team.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's only so far you can go by yourself. Right? You're gonna plateau at a certain point.
Right.
Whether that comes from you adding VAs, virtual assistants, building out with your family. You gotta have a team. So that's the biggest thing I've learned over time. And yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, that's like what you said, like the journey. Like I love the journey, and I think I love it a little more because in school they didn't teach us how to create a business or how to create an LLC and go through the business funding or the legal side and everything. So it's like we're learning all of these skills and we're picking this up so that we can replicate it or structure our business in the right way that we need to do so to scale. And then, but we have to do all the trench work ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then at that certain point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to expand. Now we get the team. Now we grow as a team, and like that journey is fulfilled. So it's like it's so many angles, but it's like it's a blessing to be like a part of that process.
Yo, that's real.
Sometimes I feel like we have to know everything, but I feel like the best way to go about it is to learn a skill and really be the best at that skill and then branch off of that. There's so many ways you can make money just by having that one skill. For example, I do credit. I'm in the credit space. I can do credit repair. I can do funding. I can sell trade lines. I can have affiliate business through that. So that's like 4 ways to make money through that one skill set that I learned.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of young people coming up, trying to figure out what you're trying to do. Just figure out that one thing that you really want to take to the moon, and that you're really passionate about, and really learn to make money multiple ways. And even outside of that, like I said, we were talking about intellectual property, right? You can sell what you know online. You can write ebooks on how to repair credit. That's another way to make money. Right. You can write an ebook on how to get funding. That's another aspect, another way to make money. And you can teach people how to run a business as well. I can teach people how to run their own credit repair company. I can teach people how to run their own funding company, and that's something I can sell for a high ticket price.
Right. That's real. And then packaging it all together, putting it and separating it. I'm gonna say that one thing that I learned is actually, I'll say from my journey, I'm not gonna do the whole journey, but I'm gonna just say in the last year, because both of y'all brought up a good point, was like building a team. And I'll say like all things blockchain network, we have a really strong team. And I'm very grateful for the team that we have and that we built. over this past 2 years, really, started from trading stocks all the way into what it is now. And that journey, it was rough at first because, yeah, you need a team, but it's like picking the right people to be on that team as well. Like who really wants to be here, who's really dedicated, who's putting in the work, who's putting in the hours, who sees the vision, right? And who on your team has their strengths, right? Like right now, if me and DJ, if I go to a meeting and somebody asks me, hey, what are we doing on the marketing side, blah, 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 I'm gonna look at them like, oh, that's DJ. Like that ain't me. I can't tell you, he's the expert. Like, and we gotta learn, like, that's not my role, right? And I'm not gonna speak on that because DJ is our expert on that. So when you do have a team and when you get your people in team, you gotta trust them to be that expert on your team and know that if you're not that expert, just because you're the CEO, just because you're the president, that's cool. Like, you're not supposed to be doing everything. You're not, right? So, what is it that you're good at? Are you, keeping the team moral happy? Are you being able to do things, making sure everything is set so that they're able to do their job efficiently? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I had to learn, like, and it's been a great lesson for us and the team.
That's fire. That's fire. Definitely understanding like the pillars of business. That's something I've been studying a lot as I'm setting the foundation. The foundation of my business is like understanding what you're good at. And placing yourself there. Understanding the different pillars. Like understanding who's the visionary, who has the skill set to see the vision and really create that vision for the company. Right. Is the person that is on the legal side with your trademark, with your LLC, with understanding all that stuff, because that's very important.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jay, other Jay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Understanding who is the marketer, who's on the marketing side of things, who is in the trenches doing the operations. You know what I'm saying? Who is the product developer? Because you have to develop and always look for improvements in your business as well. There's so many sides to business, and really studying it is really fun, bro. It's really a journey. It's fun for sure.
Did you got anything? No, you getting into it over there, bro. I see you typing it up.
Man, I'm just trying to get some work done. I got a lot of stuff to post up. I've been posting stuff up for some days now, but I'll say, man, having my nonprofit and going through all the nonprofit stuff first before even starting my business kind of put me in a understanding approach to business. Like, I know this isn't going to be a get-rich-quick scheme. I went nonprofit first because I had a lot of success without having a team. So I thought that, I could repeat that type of success without really having to go like so far as to bringing on the board of directors and to, scaling out that team. But that is something that I always wanted to do. Like when I started my real nonprofit and I stopped just throwing programs, I actually brought on like 4 of my OGs, a doctor I met, super developer for IBM, like people I met through my engineering experiences, and built out like a super big team for my nonprofit. It was at least like 30 people when I was still in college. And we started throwing events, we started raising money and stuff, and it was cool. I just really had to like take a step back and understand like a lot of what y'all were saying, that you can't do everything. When I was running like president or leader or president of this like different orgs, those aren't your organization. So like any youth coming up, like even if you're a leader on your team or if you're a leader amongst your friend group or whatever the case may be, like having that structural leadership and holding people accountable, that's probably the hardest thing that I learned like through the nonprofit, because I had to kick people off the board, I had to fire people, stuff like that, and it was like, that was kind of hurtful to me because I didn't even want to be in that situation and to be telling somebody like, look, you're not picking up your part of the deal, and we're gonna have to figure something out. Like this is when I figured out all of that conflict resolution stuff where you can go to people, you got to stay on top of it, and if that's the case, that really taught me more about business than anything, like the people part. If you are the leader of your business, you can't do everything, but you still have to know how to do everything. Right. And you gotta at least still like have that knowledge of like empathy and execution. So, you know, you can tell people, look, I need this done. You might be able to get it done in a week. For patient pays, I feel, you know, when you sit down and do patient pays work, you gonna get whatever you need to done, right? But when you expand the team, you can't ask somebody else to do it the way that you would do it, or even in the same amount of time or with the same effort, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's still about being a people person first and like really organically having that team like enjoy working together. Like that's one thing I would say about ATBN, and that's one thing I try to make sure my nonprofit was too. So anybody out there with a business, I would say that's like most important. If you can make it fun, that'll really change the scale of things. I think one of y'all said it earlier too about content. You can just get out there and make content that you enjoy making. If you can find like a style of videos, and even myself personally, I haven't found the specific style, but like if you can find exactly what you want to do, you could probably get up every day and just start doing it. So that'll be like my advice, my big advice moving forward, starting a business on that Alex or Mozzie stuff. Like you need to be posting about 8 times a day, and if it's 8 times a day, then I need to figure out what I like to make videos about. Like I know I like video editing, I know I like marketing and stuff, but it's about what is it about. And I knew the nonprofit stuff was really cool, but I just need a lot more skill now. Like the business side is showing me that there's a lot more opportunity to get into with partners. Like there's not really anything holding you back. So, and even in a business, like with your personal brand really has more flexibility to it than your business does. I think that we were getting into that, and I was really sticking on that. That's one thing I wanted to say is like building out your personal brand, you're able to scale out 10 businesses.
Right.
And you can pick up different expertise. You can partner with different people and play a role in different types of entities. So I think that, you know, still being a people person is most important. Getting out there, if you're young, network, get out there, collaborate with people, partner with people. That's how you're going to end up going a lot further. If you got it, then I think you need to tap into AI. Because if you got it, there's nothing better right now than AI. It's going to scale whatever you have going on times 10. So I think that that's going to be, you know, what's going to change the scale of things. We're going to have a lot of young people that's pushing out a lot of content. Like, where did these people come from? They're popping. And then you're going to have them same old stallion horses in the race like Nike's who still going to make dope commercials. And they'll probably use AI too.
Right.
So,
Right.
Or they probably already using.
Right, exactly.
So if you think about it, so Barbie, I think they made like $1 billion in like a few weekends. I don't know if it's the first weekend. I'll look it up, but they did most of their promotion with AI.
Yep.
So like they used a couple of tools that we've seen. I know you've seen, bro. I was looking at.
When I saw Barbie and I saw Beyonce, I was like, she wasn't in that movie. I was like, but I could have literally went into the AI and just told it to make this
right,
Beyonce.
So easy.
Easy. That's millions of views.
Right.
Easy. Right. That's what people know. That's called trend jacking on YouTube. It's a big thing. It's like you can strategically find something that's like trending right now, and you can flip it, and AI just expedites that process.
Right.
To 10.
For sure, and it's just gonna get you traction, like, and it's not stealing nothing. You putting out there, just telling like, yo, there's AI, like
Really,
that's what it is.
creativity.
Yeah, like right, because now it and it does hurt. Like the artist is looking at it like I'm hurt. So this is how you gotta look at it. I can't draw worth the crap, but I can go on the computer and make an image, right? But I guarantee you 9 out of 10 artists that I run into are gonna be able to create that same picture that I did 20 to 30 times better because they're gonna know those details. They're gonna see how they draw. They're gonna write in those inputs, or they're gonna have an example of what they've already done to put in there to the AI and enhance it. And if you are an artist, right, level up your skills. Become a 3D designer now. There's tools that help you turn your 2D into 3D. Level up your skills.
Turn
Become
the 3D into motion.
Right. Turn the 3D into motion. Level up your skills and become a web designer. Right now, you can put your images onto vectors onto a site using AI without having a code. You just put the image into the AI, grab the script. Now you can put it on a website. Now you are a website designer. Right? Like it's simple. It's really simple, but you got to figure out your niche and how you can use it to advance your skills at the end of the day.
People gonna start calling that upskilling. I've seen it already starting to trend. That's
Okay.
gonna be the word for it.
Upskilling? Heard it here first.
Upskilling.
That's what Midjourney say too. Like when you doing your
Okay, the
upskilling. I like that. Man.
Not upscaling. Not upscaling. Upskilling.
Oh,
upskilling.
Okay, that's
Okay.
hard.
Upskilling.
That's
Upskilling.
SEO word.
Okay, upskilling.
Yeah,
Like,
get your skills up.
upskilling.
Right.
Hey, look, let's go ahead and throw a quick disclaimer out there, right? So you see the media is portraying AI and technology and blockchain and crypto in a certain light. It's important to always do your own research. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing we say is financial advice, but it's always important to do your own research so that you can see what's really going on, because you don't want to miss the next wave, or you don't want to miss the waves to come because you was listening to a certain media outlet. So always do your own research and make sure that you really know what's going on, because like the opportunities that's presenting themselves can change your life and your family's life and the people and the world forever.
Nah, that's 100%, bro. 100%. Like my boy Don said, do your own research.
So
Right.
important.
That's
DYOR.
That went for everybody up here.
Right.
We all
Me
feel
too.
that way.
Me too. Right. So.
Even tapping back into like, our business journey, the first thing is knowledge. You gotta know what you're doing first, you know what I'm saying, before you do anything, it's all about knowledge, knowing exactly how or what you're about to do, and having all the knowledge you need to really move that thing forward. So yeah, that's definitely the key.
100%. So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I guess we're gonna call it an episode. I don't really know what to call it because
It's just the show.
It's just the show,
That's the
right?
show.
Just the show.
I
so,
just keep it flowing, and we got to 9:30.
yeah.
I just say like, go ahead. This is what I was talking about with you, me, and Jay. If we like are in a situation like this, we just recording, then just keep saying like quotables.
Right.
Like
Okay.
stuff
At
about
the
your
end.
business and like stuff that you think, right? Like 45, 25-second little spurts and like, this is what I think about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Like make y'all some shorts with it. Yeah, I'll try to or I'll send it in to you for sure.
Bet.
That's fine.